Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Uwe sent me a story, and I believe I'm saying his name correctly, U-W-E, Uwe. And I know somebody whose brother was named Uwe. Didn't know Uwe as well, but I knew Ingo, his brother. Ingo was Uwe's brother. I'm not making this stuff up. But from the freethoughtproject.com, court says innocent mom can't sue cops who mistook her candy for meth and jailed her for months. So there's actually two crazy stories here. Woman spent time in jail for having candy in her car, and then when she filed a lawsuit over the unlawful detention, the courts have said, yeah, you can't sue over that. Matt Agorist wrote the story again for the freethoughtproject.com, and the story's out of Georgia. An innocent grandmother named Dasha Fincher was kidnapped by police and thrown in a cage for months. Well, that's one way of describing it. But not because she did anything wrong, but because police couldn't tell the difference between cotton candy and meth. After being locked up for no reason, the innocent grandmother went after the police who did this to her in the form of a lawsuit, and she also sued the company who manufactures the inaccurate test, and the lawsuit got thrown out. So here's how it works. Federal Judge Tillman Self dismissed Fincher's lawsuit this week, writing, without a doubt, plaintiff should never have spent 94 days in jail. And while the court certainly empathizes with her, it nonetheless must follow the requisite law. And the law is the immunity that police have against lawsuits. Fincher responded with one of the most discouraging quotes we've ever printed, saying, and I thought nobody cared before. Now I really think nobody cares, the justice system, the law enforcement. And Matt Agorist agrees with her. Judge Self said, because Monroe County deputies assumed the test kits gave them accurate readings, they have sovereign immunity protection from her lawsuit. So here's how it went down. A new report from CBS uncovered a problem in dozens of states using a certain kind of test in which innocent people are rotting in jail because police departments don't send the evidence that could potentially free them into the lab to get tested. According to the report, the average lab turnaround time is around 100 days. This happens to be roughly the same amount of time that Fincher spent in jail for the cotton candy she had in her car. So this all started back on New Year's Eve 2016. Fincher was on her way to a pawn shop with her boyfriend that day when cops pulled her over, claiming that her window tint was too dark. Her tint was legal, but cops used that stop as a fishing expedition to look for other crimes. She said she wasn't nervous because we weren't doing anything wrong, except that the police found the cotton candy in the back seat of her car, and they said that they thought they were drugs. So it was cotton candy, and a video, this is all caught on video, by the way. The bag that police claimed was meth was an obvious bag used to hold cotton candy. It looked nothing like a Ziploc bag or any other tiny bags that meth might be found in. It would certainly not look like something that cocaine would be sold in either. The cotton candy was blue as well, which is atypical because real meth is clear or white, and only drug dealers on television tint their products. At least that's what this guy says. I wouldn't know. The innocent grandmother was accused of trafficking a large quantity of blue meth in a cotton candy bag. And it looked like cotton candy for some weird reason. Deputy Cody Maples and Deputy Kevin Williams asked her what was in the bag. She told them it was cotton candy. They did not believe her. According to the incident report, these expert drug recognition officers claimed that based on the packaging and crystal-like feature, they tested the substance. They then used a highly faulty field test, which has been known to produce false positives repeatedly. And predictably, the cotton candy tested positive for drugs. Fincher said, I couldn't believe it. I wanted to cry, but I was like, this would be over in a minute. I really didn't think I'd even go to jail. Fincher would then become one of many people to suffer horrific fates at the hands of negligent cops and their continued use of faulty field drug tests. In fact, tens of thousands have been convicted and served time, even earning felony convictions for crimes they likely didn't commit, according to a report, because the cases against them relied on horribly unreliable field drug test kits. So prone to errors are these tests that courts don't allow them as useful in evidence. They're not even allowed to be used as evidence, okay? They can use them as a field test, but I'm sure you probably know this, but just in case you don't, when you get pulled over to the side of the road and you're somehow suspected of being a drunk driver, they'll make you get out of the car, do a bunch of field sobriety tests, and then they'll often do a preliminary breath test on you, a PBT. But when you get back to the station, they'll do a more accurate test because even the PBT is not that accurate. It's not accurate enough. They want extremely accurate results to use in court. So the fact is they've got this field test kit that they use that will falsely identify cotton candy as crystal meth. And they'll use that as a basis of an arrest. They can't use it in court, but they'll use it to arrest you. So keep in mind that 90% of drug cases in some jurisdictions result in plea deals. A lot of people are pleading to stuff even though, but they figure, hey, if I'm going to get convicted, I should probably plead to a lesser. Dasha Fincher is one of these people. As WMAZ reported, this innocent grandmother was put in jail for more than 3 months. Fincher says a judge set her bond at $1 million. In March 2017, GBI lab tests came back to say there were no controlled substances confirmed in the sample. She told CBS that she considered pleading guilty to a lesser crime just so she could get out of jail. She said she was just about to do that when the lab tests came back. While in jail, her daughter miscarried a baby and could not be comforted by her mother. Also, Fincher missed the birth of her twin grandsons. She says, my daughter had a miscarriage. I wasn't there for that. My twin grandsons were born. I missed that too. I want Monroe County to pay for what they did to me. However, thanks to a corrupt and self-protecting system, that will never happen. And that, of course, that last sentence was written by Matt Agorist, and I agree with him. And, it's a crazy system where incompetent police officers pull you over for no reason. Your window tint is too dark. And ironically, they don't write her for that. And I've always said that police, when they pull somebody over for something and then write them up for something else, are doing themselves a disservice because it looks wrong. If they pulled you over for window tint, they should write you for window tint. And the reason they don't is because your window tint wasn't too bad. They just use that as a pretext. We know that. It's obvious, right? And so they pull you over for one thing, and they dig around and they find something else. They find a cotton candy bag with cotton candy in it. And they go, oh, this must be meth. Let's use one of those faulty field test kits to get a positive. Sure enough, it's positive. And she spends 94 days in jail. Now, that in and of itself would be a horrible story. And it's documented, so this is what happened. This is not somebody in jail saying, hey, I've been wrongfully accused. She's out and all these facts are now out there. We know these are true story. So there's that part of the story. Then there's the part of the story where she sued the police department and said this was a horrific miscarriage of justice. And the court just throws it out and goes, well, yeah, but you can't sue the cops for doing their job. And there are some small exceptions to that, but the problem is the exceptions are too small. And you'd think that a police officer who's been trained to think and investigate and to unravel crimes shouldn't be confused by cotton candy that is still in the cotton candy bag. Okay? So if there was some nondescript substance in an unmarked bag, you might go, what's that substance in the unmarked bag? But the cotton candy in the cotton candy wrapper, I wonder if the same guy would find a Snickers bar and pull it out of the wrapper and go, I wonder what this is. What is this brown block-like thing? What is it? What is it? Would he pull out a Payday bar and go, those look like peanuts, but are they peanuts? What are they? He might find a Twix in the back seat and pull it out and go, there's a right one and there's a left one. They look similar, but are they? Maybe this is some new crank that the kids are doing these days, or LSD Mach 3, or cow paralyzer. Who knows what this could be? I hate to crack jokes about it because it's such a serious topic. The woman spent over 3 months in jail. And most people, if you said, cops make mistakes. If you think it's okay that cops make mistakes like that, let me see if I can find a police station that'll lock you up for one day, just 24 hours. Let's just throw you in a jail cell for 24 hours just to see what it's like. And you say, of course not. I wouldn't do that. No, you wouldn't do that. For 94 days. Oh, and by the way, you don't get to pick what days you do it on. So something else happening in your life, doesn't matter. Spend 3 months in jail. 3 months in jail because you had cotton candy in your backseat. That's insanity. The fact that you can't sue for that is also insanity. This immunity the police get when they do just insanely crazy stuff is wrong. That needs to get taken care of. That needs to get fixed. So I feel very sorry for the woman. But Daisha Fincher spent more than 3 months in jail, and she shouldn't have. And she should be allowed to sue for that, and she should be allowed to recover for that. And those 2 cops who cannot tell what cotton candy is when it's still in the wrapper, they need different jobs. And I don't mean within the department. I mean, they need different jobs outside of government work. There you go. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. Once you see the hundo, it cannot be unseen.